In this video, I'm going to show you how to register DOIs for conference and for thesis inside this conference. So let's start. For this purpose, we need to create a new project. And then we need to choose object type. In this case, it's a conference. And as we are going to register DOIs both for conference as an issue and as well as for thesis inside the conference, we need to mark both options, DOI and DOI for the collection or release. Then we need to choose the DOI generation mode. So we have three modes available. It's manual, according to the issue number and suffix, and absolutely automatical. Absolutely automatical mode is useful when you don't know a DOI and you need that the system assigns a DOI for yourself. According to the issue number, year, and suffix, the option which is mostly used by the journals. In this case, the syntax of the DOI is generated according to this data. And manually is useful when you already know your DOI. In this case, a DOI has already been printed in the printed version of your material. For example, if it's a journal, it's already in the layout and you already know a DOI. So in this case, we are going to choose manual mode because we know the syntax of our DOI. And then I need to choose whether I'm creating a new conference or this is a consecutive conference in the series of the conferences. So if it's a consecutive conference, it should be available here. So here I have one of them, but I'm going to create a new one just for the test purpose. Let's choose a title for our conference. Let it be test conference. And let's put the description of the conference. The responsible organization or the editorial is automatically filled because this information is available in our profile. We can also add alternative identifiers such as ISBN, ISSN if we have them, but in this case we do not. Then we need to enter the information about journal's current number, or in this case, conference's current number. If it's not a consecutive conference, you can just put 0 or 1. This information is not going to be included in the metadata. So let's put 0. And you have to enter the information about the publication date. And you have to choose your resource language. So in this case, it's going to be English. Okay, as we are registering a DOI for the conference issue, in this case it's like separate journal, we need to assign a DOI manually here for this issue. I have already prepared some test data, so let's use it. Let's put it here. So let me come back to this because this is connected to Dui Generation Mode. So if we had chosen automatically, this field wouldn't be available. But as we are entering all the data manually, so we have to also specify the syntax of a DOI. So we have our test prefix and we have the syntax that we made up ourselves. And we need to enter the information about the URL where this conference is available. So this is generally and most commonly is going to be the website of our conference. Okay, so let's click Save. Okay, here I forgot to choose the resource type. As a conference, it could be different resource type, such as sound, workflow. In this case, as it's a conference and it's printed in the journal, we would choose text. Okay, and now click Save. Now I have a page where I need to choose the category, the scientific category for our conference. This is going to be used in our database for the search purpose. I'm saying OK, and let me see, let's say technical sciences. And we close this window, and we can now proceed with the registration of a DOI for the thesis inside this conference. So each thesis is going to be associated with an object inside, so we have to click this button Add Object, and we have to click Editing Open to add the text of our thesis. So here I have already some data prepared, so it's gonna be easier for me, and I'm copying and I'm pasting it here, and I'm closing the editing to close the text area here. So let's start. Here I have a DOI. It's the same algorithm as I used before. As we already have our DOIs printed, we have the syntaxes, so I can just copy and paste it here to register this DOI. Then I select the title of this first thesis, and I click the button Article Title. All the marked up data is available here in this tab, so I have just entered the information about the title of the conference, and I have this in the tab tagged metadata. So here I have it. If I need to change something, I can do this via this tab, and I can even delete it here. So let me come back to markup. Let's proceed with the authors. Here I have two authors. It's very important that the surname goes first, and then the name and the second name. So I'm choosing the authors. Each author should be separated by the comma, and I'm clicking the button Name of the author, List of the authors. So yeah, here I have the information, I have the surname, and I have the name. If you have a, let me explain it later. So here I click Save. Sometimes some authors, they have ORCID, and we really recommend to register information about the authors with their ORCID. So if you have ORCID, you would also select this ORCID and click it here, and then choose the corresponding author for this ORCID. In this case, I'm not using ORCID, so I'm proceeding with the further information. With the affiliation of the authors. So I choose the first affiliation, and I click Affiliation, and I choose the corresponding author for this affiliation, and I'm clicking Save. The same thing with this second affiliation. I'm choosing it, I'm selecting it, and I'm clicking Affiliation and the corresponding author. Okay. So now, the abstract. So the same thing. We select the abstracts, and we click in Abstract. Save. And we have some keywords as well, so let us select them, and let's click Keywords. So the last thing to enter is the URL where this thesis is situated in the web. So here we have it, and if we have pagination, we can also add this information, but in this case we do not have it. So I have finished marking up the data of our thesis, and I can proceed with the next thesis in the conference. For this, I would need to press Add after Object 1. So I would have the interface to add the information about the second thesis or the second article inside our journal. But as we are doing it for the test purpose, I'm going to register DOI only for one thesis inside. So to delete unnecessary objects, you just need to press delete all current markup. Yes, and I'm getting back to my first thesis. So now I need to register all the data and DOIs associated with this data. For this purpose, I'm going to this link, Project Errors and Registration. And first, I'm going to register DOI for the issue of our conference, so for the conference as itself. So I'm clicking data site for the issue. In case you are using Crossref, you will have Crossref for the objects instead of data site. So I'm clicking here. There are no errors. We will result, and I send it for registration. Perfect. So when the administrator reviews our data, our DOIs will be registered. And I'm doing the same thing with the objects, in this case thesis of the conference. So there are no errors. I'm checking one more time all the basic information, and I'm sending it for registration. So that's it. In 2 days, more or less, our DOIs will be registered. So thank you for watching. If you have any question, you can always comment below this video. Thank you.